Hi, today we're going to learn how to use VPN to stay secure and private online. Wow, this is a tough job. Just kidding. When you use NordVPN, all it takes is just a single click. See for yourself. Click, and you're browsing securely on public Wi-Fi. Click, your ISP can't see what you do online. Click, and you're in a different country. Well, virtually. Any device you have there, NordVPN has you covered. Everything else is just details. But if you care to know more, NordVPN has more than 5,000 servers all over the world. It protects your sensitive data with advanced encryption, shields you from malware and phishing sites, and keeps no logs of your online activity.
Click link in the description and get 68% discount for your first order. Using wood stain, set up your workstation in a well-ventilated area. Lay down tarp or newspaper to catch wood dust and stain drippings. If you're working inside, open up any windows and use a box fan for airflow. Sand the wood using 120 grit sandpaper. Sand in the direction of the grain to avoid leaving scratches on the wood's surface. Stop once you've done a light sanding over the entire surface of the wood. Finish smoothing the surface of the wood with 220 grit sandpaper. Use the higher grade sandpaper to help smooth out any roughness left from the first round of sanding. Make sure the wood feels completely smooth when you're finished. Apply a coat of wood conditioner to the wood using a paintbrush. You can find wood conditioner in a can at your local hardware store. You want to apply the wood stain within 2 hours of brushing on the conditioner. Open the wood stain and stir it thoroughly before you use it. Scrape the bottom of the can with the stir so any stain color settled at the bottom gets mixed in. Use a paintbrush or cloth to apply 1 coat of wood stain to the wood. Paint or rub the stain on, going in the direction of the grain. Try to get an even coverage across the surface of the wood. Let the wood stain set into the wood for 5 minutes. If you want the wood to be less dark, leave the stain on for a shorter amount of time. Wipe off the excess wood stain from the wood with a cloth. Wipe off the stain in the direction of the wood grain. Allow the stained wood to dry per the directions on the stain's label. Check the label to see how long you should wait before adding a finish to the wood. Apply a polyurethane or lacquer finish to protect the wood. Wipe down the surface of the wood with a cloth first to remove any specks of dust. Staining with tea and vinegar. Bring 2 cups 473 milliliters of water to a boil. Keep the water boiling until you're ready to transfer it. Pour the boiling water into a heat-resistant container. Use a container with a wide enough opening for a paintbrush. Steep 2 black tea bags in the container of water for 24 hours. Leave the tea bags in the container for the entire 24 hours so the mixture fully darkens. Put a steel wool pad and 16 ounces of apple cider vinegar in a bowl. Use a zero-grade steel wool pad for the best results. Let the steel wool soak in the apple cider vinegar for 24 hours. Use a paintbrush to brush the black tea onto the wood. Make sure you cover every part of the wood's surface that you want to darken. Let the wood and black tea sit for an hour. You want the black tea to fully absorb into the wood before you apply the next coat of stain. Apply the steel wool/vinegar mixture to the wood using a paintbrush. Brush, paintbrush, paintbrush. Paint on the mixture in the direction of the wood grain. Make sure you cover the entire surface of the wood with the mixture to prevent patches and streaks. The mixture will cause the wood to oxidize, and you should start to notice the wood turning darker. Let the wood dry for an hour. If it's not as dark as you want it, or there are patches on the surface, go over the wood again with the black tea and the steel wool/vinegar mixture. Darkening with coffee. Fill a bowl with 1 cup 237 milliliters of dark coffee grounds. Make sure the bowl you use is heat resistant. Pour 1/4 cup 296 milliliters of boiling water over the coffee grounds. Pour the water slowly so it doesn't splash or cause the coffee grounds to pour over the side of the bowl. Let the coffee grounds sit for 30 minutes. Wait longer than 30 minutes if the mixture isn't completely cool by then. Place a coffee filter in a mesh strainer. Make sure the coffee filter is open and positioned in the center of the strainer. Hold the mesh strainer over a container and pour in the coffee mixture. Use a container with an opening big enough for a paintbrush to fit through. Set aside the container after you fill it. Set up your workstation. Work outdoors if you can to avoid a mess. If you can't work outside, lay down a tarp inside to set the wood on. Sand the wood using a fine-grade sandpaper. Find a sandpaper that is between 180-220 grit at your local hardware store. Gently sand the wood in the direction of the grain until it's smooth. Use a paintbrush to brush the coffee mixture onto the wood. Avoid applying too much of the mixture or it may pool on the wood's surface. Once you've covered the entire surface of the wood with the mixture, let the wood dry. Apply more coats until you achieve your desired darkness. Let the wood dry in between each coat. Apply a finish once the last coat dries if you want to seal the wood.